Hello and welcome to That Football. It's Russia versus Egypt. And how are you all doing? How are you all doing for this 7 o'clock kickoff game, the third game of today? What a game, what a day it has been. I mean, I did say that the final group, Group H, would be a very interesting group. And I didn't predict either of those results. I think Colombia, look, Japan was so impressive. Yes, it was against 10 men. Interesting next game to see. But Senegal, Poland, I'm pleasantly surprised. I predicted Colombia and Senegal will come out of that group. I think Mourinho predicted Poland and Colombia. So I think Senegal will come out of that. I think they will come out of that. And they were very, very impressive. And I think they are the best African nation team. I think they've got a very, very good team. And I tell you what, there's a lot of games I'm really, really looking forward to in this tournament. And Poland, Colombia on Sunday night takes on massive connotations because whoever loses that is going home. And Japan, Senegal, again, whoever wins that is going through. So, and remember, that's England's group. England will play the teams from this group. And if I was England, I'd be a little bit worried about playing any of these teams in that group. I think I don't know. Look, Colombia, we've not really seen the real Colombia yet because they were down to 10 men. But very, very interesting and another cracking day for the World Cup. But let's talk about this game. As you can see, the team news is going along the bottom. Not many surprises at all, other than Egypt have Mo Salah back. Now, I was very impressed with Egypt against Uruguay. And I felt that they made a mistake not bringing Salah on in the last 10 minutes because I thought, Uruguay were going for the game. But Egypt had nothing in the final third to hurt a very good Uruguayan defence. They should have brought Salah on, I think. He was on the bench. They should have used him. They're using him tonight. If Egypt lose this game, they're going out of the World Cup. If Egypt draw, it's going to be very, very difficult because they're going to have to beat Saudi Arabia by quite a lot of goals when you think about how many Russia beat them by. Or they're going to have to hope Uruguay smash Russia, which I don't think it will. And also, I think that Uruguay will beat Saudi Arabia. They'll have 6 points and they may just play out a draw between... I know it's not nice, but if Uruguay beat Saudi Arabia, which they will, and Russia draw tonight, they then play out a meaningless draw against Uruguay. Both of those teams go through and Egypt go home. So I think Egypt have got to win tonight. They have to win this game tonight. So Wesley says he's fully behind Russia. And Pankaj says, love the England top. Yep. And I think Egypt will win, says Ayad. They have to win. They have to win. They have to win this game. There's no qualms about it. They've got to win it. Even a draw, like I said, I was thinking about this just before I came on air. Even if they draw this game, I think there's a very high probability that they'll just play out a meaningless draw with Egypt. So, with Uruguay, sorry. Right, let me just sort this out. I'm going to do a little bit of a poll for you because that's what we did. That's what we have been doing. Who will win? And I'm going to put Russia, Egypt, and draw. So what should happen is if you refresh the video, you should be able to click an eye in the top right hand corner and cast your vote. And I've cast mine, and you'll probably see what it is because when you refresh, that's what will happen. Okay, and let me come back to you. So we are about 7 minutes away from kickoff. You have got the team news going along the bottom for you. Russia were obviously very impressive against Saudi Arabia. Egypt have to win this game or they're going home. And Russia need to avoid defeat. And then as the host, they're going to go through. It's difficult for me, this one. I normally have, like this afternoon, I wanted Colombia to win. I wanted Senegal to win. And with this one, I don't know, because I think it's so good to have a host nation going later on into the tournament. And you look at the tournament so far, Russia have made it fantastic. And I think losing a host nation in the group stage isn't ideal. And then from Egypt's point of view, I quite like Egypt. I know Salah plays for Liverpool, but I quite like Egypt. The the poll should be in the top right hand corner, Pankaj. If you maybe if you refresh, come in and come out, and then click the eye in the top corner, you can vote for who you think's going to win. Is it going to be a draw? That's how you do it. So crack on and get involved. So I've been looking forward to this game. I know there's a lot of people going, "Oh, it's a crap game," and this, that. I've been looking forward to this game because the reason I've been looking forward to it is because I think it's the first game that we've had so far where if Egypt lose, they're going home. This is the first, the first group stage doesn't matter in the first group game. You can say Saudi Arabia are going to go home; it's inevitable. But for everybody else, it isn't. So I'm very intrigued by this one, and I don't know. I don't know which way it's going to go. I really don't. I don't have much of an idea. Sorry, I've just got to sort something out here. Post that, and then I'll come back to the live comments. It's all going on. We're 5 minutes away from kickoff though, so that's good. And there is a United stand at 9 PM following this show tonight, so very, very busy in the evenings at the moment, but it's only for a couple of weeks, the World Cup, and we're all loving it. And I just think there'll be, the great thing about the Colombia game today that really struck me was that this is the World Cup, isn't it? This is the World Cup. And we all think, are we going to get a shock? Are we not going to get a shock? And then in the first 5 minutes, Colombia are down to 10 men. And Japan have, not only is a red card, but there's a sending off as well. So it just shows you football's very funny, and that's football. You can have a favourite, but something can go ridiculously wrong. And who's to say a bit of a VAR or something could go wrong with this? Tommy Harold says he thinks Salah will be crap. I don't see any reason why Salah would be crap because it's only an arm injury and it's not fitness in his legs. So he should be all right. Grant Walker wants cheering up. He's had a busy day. We'll cheer you up. We'll cheer you up. Jay Hart says Salah's actually risking his career. All the Russians will be targeting him. I think that's part of the reason they didn't use him against Uruguay. Uruguay are a very physical team. Godin and Jimenez are very experienced centre-backs, and they would have given him a few knocks. So I agree with you there, but I don't think they. I think the situation with Salah is that he was very close to fitness, and they just didn't dare risk him. Which it's down to them, isn't it? It's down to them. I felt they should have risked him in the last 10 minutes. They didn't. It's up to them, isn't it? What more can you do? Oh, this might be a YouTube thing. Let me have a look. Yeah, we are live. Great. Why are you coming in and out? No, it's not to come out because it's wet. Right, we've got the stream back, which is great. Unfortunately, we've got intruders who should know better than to start coming through. So 1 minute. We're not live yet. That was set up like that. Fine, thank you. Right, come here. Come on. Get out. For people who know my United Stand days, they will know that there's a little dog called Robbie, and little dog Robbie is causing a few problems. So little dog Robbie has now been expelled to the kitchen. Hopefully everything is working okay. Have we got problems tonight with the stream? Got lag too. Yeah, it might be something to do with the internet connection, to be honest. Hopefully not, but at the end of the day, if it's not working, I'll just drop it off. It's not the end of the world, is it? But hopefully it will be okay. We'll stick with it, and the game started anyway. So let me just get that going. There. And Andrew Kidd says that Mo Salah's going to destroy Russia. Well, we're off and running. Let's see how it goes. Who are we rooting for tonight, says Inzaghi. I don't know. I don't know. It's a really difficult one. Really difficult one. I'm tempted to say Russia because they're the host nation and you want the host nation to do well. I suppose at the end of the day, as long as there's no... I have Philip Hammond. As long as there's no injustice, it'll be okay. Scott Martin says it's fine. No, I was just trying to upload the page and it wasn't working. So hopefully it's okay now. And that's cost me a few seconds, to be honest. So let me just knock about a bit here. And Sander says the stream's fine, which is good. I'm just... spreading the news. If you could share it, that'd be great. We've had a bit of a dodgy start to this one. It's bound to happen every now and again when you're trying to do every single World Cup game. It's going to happen. So if you the That's Football Ultras could share it about on Twitter and Facebook, just click the share button underneath. That would be massively appreciated. We are up and running with this game now, and John Motson never had these problems. Phil, you're right. Producer, commentator, graphics guy, the lot. But ultimately, the show is nothing without you lot. So thanks everyone who's tuning in. Thanks everyone who's subscribed to the channel and continue to get involved with it. Thoroughly enjoyed Xander's stream earlier on with Senegal and Poland. He got another good game. I thought it was a good game. I don't know what people were moaning about. I thought it was a good game. Another 3 goals. Another underdog wins. Yeah, very, very good. I was very, very, very pleased with it. So, no problems at all. There is a United stand tonight, Hannibal. There is a United stand tonight. Yes, there is. Okay. Let me come back to you. So, we're up and running now, which is the main thing. Do you like the World Cup so far, says a Toro. Does a bear shit in the woods? Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't swear, but yes, I am loving the World Cup. I had my first big disappointment today with the Colombia game, because I got it right about Mexico. I've got it right about Senegal being good teams. And I still think Colombia are a good team. I actually think Colombia just had a bad day today. Davinson Sanchez, who's the Spurs centre-back, probably put in a worse performance than I've seen from anybody. And that includes Saudi Arabia. I thought he was atrocious. He was at fault for the red card. And it continued through the whole game. He was absolutely rubbish. But to be honest, so many Colombians were rubbish. Their passing was dreadful. I know they were down to 10 men, but it was just a terrible performance from Colombia. And, you know, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, but I did hope that Colombia were going to have a big impact on this tournament, and it doesn't look like they are. They've now got a game against Poland that they have to win. The pressure is on, and again, they're going to have to beat Senegal and they're going to have to beat Poland to have any chance of going through. And Colombia were a team I thought would go through. So, bit of a disappointment, but not everybody's going to achieve what I thought, is it? So, who do I think is going to win this, James Smith? Well, we're about 5 minutes in so far, and it's quite a 50-50 game. Hegassi was brilliant for Egypt the other night. West Brom centre-back, Egypt centre-back, but it's Russia on the attack here at the moment. A cross coming in, and they clear, and I think that's going to be a corner to Russia. Douglas thinks that Senegal are going to win Group H. As I said, it's going to be very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Open game so far, says Mad Marcus. Salah not playing freely. He looks a bit tentative, says Joy Deep. Well, we'll keep an eye on that with Mo Salah. Let's see how he gets on. Ooh, header straight at the keeper there from across. Didn't get enough power on it, and it's straight into the keeper's arms. I thought, to be honest with you, I don't know what anyone else thinks, but I thought that Al Shanawi, who's the Egyptian goalkeeper, was superb against Uruguay. I was really impressed. And another shot from Russia there. Russia stepping it up a bit here. That's Golovin with the shot. Keep an eye out for Golovin. So it wasn't Golovin, it was Zobnin. Golovin's number 17. Keep an eye out for him. Very, very good player. Zobnin's not bad either. But Egypt a little bit sloppy at the start of this game. Sorry, it was Golovin. I thought it was number 11. It's number 17 who shot it. I thought it was Golovin. So keep your eye on that. Russia's got to come through. Put anything less will be disappointment, says Jay Hart. Salah trying to get involved there. The thing is, if you're Salah, even if you don't feel 100%, you've got the rest of the summer off, haven't you? It's a World Cup every 4 years. And Egypt might not qualify for the next World Cup. So you've got to play, haven't you? You've got to give it a go. Have we got a few problems with YouTube tonight, I think? Some people are saying there's a problem with YouTube. Mine seems to be working fine now. It was playing up a little bit before, so just stick with it. Egypt need to wake up here, says Electric Mars. I agree with you totally. Ian Turlington says it's not too bad. What is the problem with it? Is it just general lag, or is it people having problems with all of YouTube? Let us know. No problems for me. It might just be localized. Anyway, cross comes in. Egypt need to be a little bit careful here. I mean, Russia were given no chance before this tournament. They weren't. They were really not given much chance at all. But as often happens, it was a bit like England before Euro 96. You're playing 2 years of friendlies. It's very hard to judge people. Short corner here. Flicked in, cross, back post, too high. And Egypt will get a bit of respite. James Hamilton says, really grateful for this channel. It's 2 PM in America and this channel allows me to keep up with the match while at work. No problem, mate. Just remember, we are here for every World Cup watch along, every World Cup game doing a watch along. So just get involved with the channel. Spread the word. Subscribe if you're new. We've had some really good games so far. And we're only just about finishing. Well, we're just starting the second round of group games yet. So how many games have we actually done, actually? That's a question I can't even figure out. But in the context of the World Cup, I don't think we're anywhere near halfway through until about the third set of games. Adrian the Great says Russia are totally going to win this. And Arturo Venegas says Egypt will just look to counter on the break. Let us know where you're watching from in the live comments, everybody. Let us know where you're watching from and what time it is. We're going to have a little bit of a nose. Cathel makes a good question. What happens when there are two games at the same time? Well, that is a very, very good question, Cathel. And I'm going to tell you exactly what will happen. Because it will happen in a way that I can define for you when I find the right page, which is this, that from next Monday, I think it is, from next Monday, what group are we? Yeah, next Monday, the third group games, everyone in the group kicks off at the same time. So next Monday at 3 o'clock, Saudi Arabia and Egypt, Uruguay and Russia kick off at 3 o'clock, and then on the evening for Group B, Iran and Portugal and Spain and Morocco all kick off at 7 o'clock. What we're thinking of doing is that we will either just cover we'll cover the most important game and keep an eye on the other one, or what we might do is I'll do a stream and Xander will do a stream. So we'll probably be open to what you lot would rather do there, because actually, yeah, we could both do a stream. Of course, we could. and cover all the games, or one person can do the stream and just keep you up to date with the other game and maybe flick between the two depending on what's the better. Russia are all over Egypt at the moment. Cross coming in. Keepers. Right, Ian White's in Amsterdam. It's 8:10 because they're an hour ahead. Australia, it's 4:10, says Scott Boswell, in the morning. It's 7:10 in Salford, same as here, mate. Finland, and it's 9 o'clock, says Tomas. India, it's 20 to midnight, says Gunjan. Tejas is in the White House with Donald Trump. It's 11:09 a.m. here, says Adrian the Great. Split screens, Ander and Mark. And New York, 2:11 p.m. This is match 17, says Thomas Stack, and he's in Dublin. And Albert Einstein says he's in Antarctica and it's cold. I mean, do we believe him? And don't mind if it's a double unless both games are really good, says Fish. Well, we'll talk about it a little bit more of the time. To be honest with you, it depends what the group stage is about, doesn't it? Because there might be dead rubber games. Like, I think the England group, there's no point in us doing Panama-Tunisia because they'll be out and England-Belgium will be through. So I don't think we'll do one for that. It depends on the group. I think there won't be any hard and fast rule. 11 a.m. in Seattle, says Alejandro. 7:10 in Cleethorpes, Sally Devil Red 7. 7:10 in the Isle of Man, says Ben 48 HD. 1:10 in the afternoon in Jamaica, says Paul Young. I wonder if it's the real Paul Young. We're living in the land of the common people, trying to hold as a salmon. Wherever I lay my head, that's my home. Nobody will know who Paul Young is. Don't think Salah has been mentioned once yet, says Matthew McFadden. That's a good idea. Have Xander on Skype on the one stream watching the other game. Good idea. We'll play it by ear because actually when we get into the knockout stage, we might just co-do the streams if that makes sense. Please do share the video as well. We've had a few problems with YouTube at the start of this and we like to get a good number of people watching on the evening one, get a bit of a chat going, so please do share it. Underneath the screen there's a share button. If you are on Twitter and Facebook, just share it on Twitter and Facebook, that'd be great. Get the numbers up. We had a bad start to this stream and we're recovering nicely. We were down at 200, we're getting up to 400. Excuse me, I've got a gin and tonic on the way. I don't like gin and tonic, by the way, but all the trendy people are into this gin at the moment that's got like rhubarb flavoured gin, apple flavoured gin, and the wife's having one in a minute. And I said, pour me one out. I'll try it live on air. Every time you go away, you take a piece of me with you. Gary Wells. That wasn't as good. I was better with Wherever I Lay My Hat. Anyway, Egypt are on the attack here. Number 9 into Salah, and he doesn't quite get there, but there's still first real attack for Egypt, and they went for the corner there. Can you get Xander on a side screen like you do for the United Stand for the double game, says Mark Young. Yeah, probably can do. Good idea. I'll have to rejig the graphics though. Jared Passerman says, what's the gin? I sell liquor. I'm curious. I'll get her to hold the bottle up in front of me when I'm live. I think it's 2 letters. Just corner, nothing happens. Another corner. Bryn Holcroft says, I like the home nation to do well. I'm pretty much the same as you, Bryn, to be honest. I think you've got to err on the side of the host nation doing well because it just keeps the tournament atmosphere going well. And look at the atmosphere here for the Russians. But Egypt need to win. As I said, I've heard people saying, oh, a draw will be okay. A little bit of a ping pong game in the Russian penalty box there, but they get rid of it. Zhirkov. Which Premier League club did Zhirkov play for? There you go. There's a question for you. Paul Young was in the original Band-Aid. Douglas, I'm trying to think of his line. He might have sang his line with a couple of people, but I don't think he did. Egypt into the box here. Ooh! He got good curl on that. Keeper's put his hand up to say, oh, it was never going in. But Trezeguet, the curl on that, I think if it was another metre away, that's going in the bottom corner. It was lovely curl on it. Yes, Deadly Viper, Kieran Dunn, Dylan Goss, Ian Turlington, all saying Chelsea. You're very, very right. You're very right. Chelsea, as Mini Diver says. Egypt stepping it up, says Bryn. It's Christmas time. There's no need to be afraid. I'm losing Paul Young and going more to being bloody Miss Piggy, aren't I now? I was doing quite well on Paul. This is me, right? There was a film, The Phantom Menace, has got like an Italian flying worm which was in charge of. He was the slave keeper of Anakin when he was small. It's a crap film, Phantom Menace, but this slave keeper had, I think his name was, I can't remember what his name was, but he had like an Italian accent. Oh, yeah, honey. Oh, yeah, honey. And I used to be able to do it really, really good. And then I couldn't do it. I'm quite good at accents the first 2 or 3 times. But then the more I do it, the more I lose it. So don't get me to do Paul Young anymore because it's turning into Miss Piggy. Adrian the Great says we need more speed. Have we got any Egyptians or Russians watching in the live stream? We've been fortunate the last few streams that we've done. We had somebody from Senegal. We've had Sweden yesterday lunchtime. We had a Colombian and we had somebody from Japan at lunchtime. So I'm sure we're going to get a lot of ha frog. We're going to have that was terrible. We're going to have a few people lying that they're in Egypt, but Victory Africa said it quite quick, so maybe they are. I don't think we'll have many Russians. Yeah, Aiden, the best thing about The Phantom Menace is the soundtrack. That's what I was trying to sound like, Sam Howes, the flying pig thing from Star Wars 1. Hey, Annie, what are you talking about, Annie? It's basically Italian with a bit of, oh, Seba. See, I've gone rubbish now. It was quite good, the first one. I don't think we'll hit 37,000 subscribers tonight, but if people share the video and subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner, we might get up to 36,600. Ooh, decent shot there. I think it was going over from Cherchev, and keeper. I think the keeper had that covered anyway. It was quite far over actually. It was quite far over. Screamer says AAC 63. 5-0 Saudi Arabia were beaten by Russia. So Egypt are in a situation where a lovely curl on that shot from Trezeguet. Manager didn't seem very happy about it. I thought it was a good effort. A very good effort. Give him some credit. Of course, Cherchev started this game and played brilliant in the... came on as a sub, didn't he, in the last game. And he was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Skills he had. And be interesting to see if he can have as good a game today. Keep your eye on him. Cherchev. He plays at... see what number he's playing for you. Number 6. So it's quite end-to-end at the moment. No real clear-cut chances, but... Right. I have heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise, Jack. There's a bit of Salah. He seems to be running all right, I think. I mean, he's probably a little bit short of match fitness. Kingdom FX says he used to be able to do the Alan Hansen accent, but he's terrible now. Be good to get a goal in this game. I've been quite impressed with this Trezeguet player. Salah just got chopped down there, but he's up all right. Russia are a very physical team. Alec Ducasse, what did you think of the England game? I honestly only saw the last 20 minutes of it live, but I watched it back again this morning, and I thought England in the first half were really good. What I do like about England, and it's something that's been lacking for a long time, is that we've had the players, we've had the Gerrards, the Lampards, the Beckhams, but we've not necessarily had a good system. And yeah, it's a direct lift from Pep Guardiola, and Southgate lives it up his arse, but actually, it's a system that works. It works well for England. I thought Trippier was fantastic. I mean, even Ashley Young looked okay in the system. It's a system that worked for England, and I liked it. And that was the impressive thing. And it created a lot of chances. So it was only Tunisia. Good cross coming in there. I thought the Russian striker was going to get on the end of it. He didn't, but they've got the right back here. Another cross, and Egypt clear it. So yeah, I think it was important for England to get the win against Tunisia. I mean, barring a major shock, they'll get the win against Panama. And then the Belgium game, which is going to be the last group game. So when England play Belgium, they'll probably have the same points. I'd imagine Belgium will have the better goal difference, so that if they play a draw out, Belgium top the group. But the interesting thing about that game is they will both know who they play, because the Group H, which is the group we've seen today with Colombia and Poland and Senegal and Japan, they'll have finished their group at 3 o'clock and we'll play at 7 o'clock. So there could be some political tactics in that, because if England want to avoid a certain team by finishing top of the group, they might have a bloody good game against Belgium. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. I personally think if England were on 6 points and Belgium were on 6 points, and the group that they're going to get their opposition from finished, I don't know, let's say Japan first and Senegal second, and England are second to Belgium on goal difference, and they know that if they draw the game, they're playing Japan, and if they win the game, they're playing Senegal, I would probably draw the game, because I think we've got a better chance against Japan. If it was the other way round, I'd be going to try and win the game so that you can play Japan. And that's what I think it will be about. It's what's best for England, really, isn't it? I agree with Douglas. I thought Kieran Trippier was brilliant. And I thought Kieran Trippier was brilliant against Nigeria in the Wembley friendly. I think he is not getting enough credit as per usual. Here's Salah. I thought he was going to hit that. Trezeguet, he should have hit it first time. Don't take a touch when you're in that position. If someone lays it across the box for you like that, top level football, you don't take a touch. Egypt coming into it a little bit better now. I like Egypt's fluidity compared to Russia. Russia are a very physical team. I like the fluidity of Russia. Come on, Russia, says Daniel Brook. Who are you going for? Let us know in the live comments. Who are you going for in this game? I'm still undecided. Albert Einstein says Trippier was a boyhood City fan. Well, Kyle Walker plays for City. So does Raheem Sterling. At the end of the day, England is England, isn't it? You don't necessarily park your club support, but you support your nation, don't you? So this is settling down into an interesting game, though. Russia first 10 minutes looked way on top. Egypt has started to move the ball around a little bit better now. And it'd be just typical of Russia to go and score. Good catch by the keeper, Egypt. I'll tell you what I've enjoyed about today, though. I have seen comments about, Senegal have caused a shock against Poland and Japan have caused a shock against Colombia. And I think this is just evidence, again, of the gap closure between the perceived lesser teams and some of the bigger teams. Poland, we know all about Poland, don't we? Lewandowski, they've got some really good players. Colombia, we know, Falcao, Rodriguez, they've got some really good players. But as I was saying when we were watching Japan-Colombia, when you look at the Japan squad, so much of it plays in countries like Germany for decent teams. It's not like they're all playing for, what is it, Nakatawa Antlers or something like that, or Kobe, or whatever the teams are in Japan. Yeah, some of them do, but the vast majority of them are playing a decent level football for Japan. And the lad who plays for Leicester, Kagawa, Yoshida, these are all very good players. And the same with Senegal. So many of them players are playing across Europe in the Premier League. It's not little Senegal against Poland. These have got lots and lots of players who are playing high-end football. So it's not a surprise to me. The gap is narrowing. And maybe 20 years ago it wasn't. But because they've got so many players playing in top leagues because they're good players, their gap is contracting all the time. It's really exciting. I'm with you, Fish. I don't think Senegal beating Poland was an upset. My only concern is that African teams can get a bit of hype, and then in the major tournaments they disappear. Ivory Coast, remember the Ivory Coast in that group of death a few years ago, and it just didn't go their way. And I'm really pleased that Senegal did turn up. Here's Mo Salah out on the right hand side. Little dink cross. No. Ali Verk says Germany are going to win the World Cup. Cross in there, cleared by Egypt again. Phil Mitchell says that Portugal's my second team. I want them to win the World Cup just for Ronaldo and to see how Messi fans react. Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because we've seen everybody now, and I'm very impressed with Mexico, very impressed with Senegal. I think Spain are the favourites to me. They're the best team I've seen so far as a team, and everyone seems to think Spain flopped against Portugal. I thought Portugal played out their skin to get a well-deserved draw. I think Spain maybe have another gear in it. Spain look the best team to me. Rumours that Neymar might miss the next Brazil game, which is Serbia, which they can't afford to not win. So Brazil could be in trouble, even though they were a lot of teams' favourite. And Germany and Argentina are struggling a little bit. So yeah, I mean, I'd like Portugal to win it. I haven't really considered Portugal as an outsider because they are the European champions. I've not really considered them as World Cup winners, but why not? Why not? If they can keep their key players fit, Colombia can win it. Portugal can win it. Portugal have always been a team that doesn't concede many goals as well. I'd love Mexico would beat Spain, says L Doctor 69. I'd love to see Mexico maintain it. Unfortunately, it's so hard for those teams who've never been to finals before to maintain that consistency and belief. And I really hope they do. I mean, Mexico were my pick. I said Mexico it can cause a real shock. I said that Lozano can be the breakout star. I mean, Lozano could end up at Real Madrid after this tournament. As stupid as that sounds, it could do. It happened for James Rodriguez in Colombia 4 years ago. So I really hope that Mexico can maintain it. It makes it very, very interesting. But I think Spain are going to smash Iran and Morocco, aren't they? Douglas Costa could win the Golden Boot. Just having a look at tomorrow's fixtures. So Portugal, Morocco at 1 o'clock. Iran, Spain are at 7 o'clock. And Uruguay, Saudi Arabia at 4 o'clock. So Uruguay could basically send Saudi Arabia home. Saudi Arabia could be the first team to go home. Although, if Egypt lose this, I think they're going home, aren't they? So If Egypt lose this, the last games are going to be academic, aren't they? Because Russia, Uruguay won't matter. They'll both have 6 points. Thursday's shaping up to be a very big day, actually, isn't it? Argentina, Croatia at 7 o'clock looks massive. And France, Peru is massive for Peru. And Denmark, Australia is massive for Denmark and Australia. Australia felt hard done by against France. They lose that, they're going home. Denmark, a bit fortuitous to get 3 points against Peru. Beat Australia, 6 points. They're pretty much through to the next stage. So it just shows you, doesn't it? Kingman, the transfer show on That's Football, we've sort of dropped it at the moment as a daily because we were doing it at midday, but then we're live at 1 o'clock and we did it on Thursday, and the transfer show just doesn't get any interaction or views because half an hour after you've finished, we're doing 2 or 3 match streams. So it will come back as soon as the World Cup slows down a little bit. However, if there's any big transfer news, we will just go live. Like if somebody actually signs for somebody, we'll do a video. But the World Cup is just all encompassing at the moment, and it will be like that for another week or so. But once it starts to slow down a bit and there's less games, we'll bring it back. There is a United Stand show tonight at 9 o'clock though. For anybody who doesn't know, I do the United Stand, which is a Manchester United fan channel. We're normally live at 8 o'clock every night, but because of the World Cup, we made an executive decision that it was silly to be going live at 8 o'clock when most people are going to be half time on the World Cup. So we've knocked it back to 9 o'clock, and that will continue all the time. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and please just keep sharing the video. Let's see if we can pull a few more people in. I think this World Cup game might be one of the first ones where people have thought, I ain't watching Egypt, Russia on a Tuesday night. But you know, they're not hardcore. They're not That's Football ultras like all of us. The funny thing is, I was saying this at lunchtime, the best viewed streams we've had so far have been the 1 o'clock kickoffs, and they disappear next week because it goes 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock from next Monday all the way through to the final. So Egypt on the attack here. Salah, little flick forward. Oh, come on, give us a goal, someone. Give us a goal. Oh, Salah on the back post. Defender did well. Shirkoff. Salah always looks very ill, doesn't he, in his eyes? Gary Wells says that Denmark are very hard to beat. Schmeichel hasn't conceded a goal in ages. Well, here's a corner for Egypt. Schmeichel plays in goal for Denmark, by the way, not in this game. And goal kick. PJ7 highlights was not happy that Brazil manager didn't bring Douglas Costa on the other day. Anthony Muller says that Egypt are going to win. Very equal game at the moment. Rogvi says Mexico, the way they beat Germany was unexpected. It wasn't to me. I mean, Mexico were the team that I predicted could do well. I've also predicted Colombia, and it's not started that well for them. But I was disappointed with Colombia. Mexico turned up, and I hope they continue to do that. United aren't in for Lozano, Francesco, no. I'd like them to be, but we're not. United and Talk thinks Russia are going to win. Russia have gone very quiet in the last 10 minutes. They started the game really well. They've gone very quiet in the last 10 minutes. And Egypt are starting to get back into the game a little bit more. Egypt's probably got the balance of play at the moment. Very hard to judge Russia off the Saudi Arabia game, because Saudi Arabia, I think, hands down, have been the worst team of the tournament. I dread to think what Suarez could do. I mean, Suarez didn't score in the first Uruguay game, but he could get 6 tomorrow. You know, it's that sort of opposition, Saudi Arabia. They are really bad. Chris Windle sums it up well. He says, very sad for Colombia result, but credit where credit's due to Japan. Japan were very good, and they played against 10 men very, very well. They moved the ball around quickly. Colombia were terrible at moving the ball about. Unbelievably bad. I know they were down to 10 men, and that's a bit of an excuse, but yeah, they weren't great. That game against Poland on Sunday night, it really is win or bust for both teams. Ezzy Jr. says you might be shocked by the Saudis. I don't know how we're going to be shocked by them, Ezzy. They were bloody atrocious against Russia, and Russia aren't that good. Oh, here we go. Keep it as well. For Egypt. Salah, that's rubbish. Yeah, the 1 o'clock game today was brilliant, Gary. Absolutely brilliant. Colombia, Japan. That's a lovely cross into the box there. No Russian player anywhere near it. Right across the face of goal. It was Zhershev again. Lovely. He was brilliant in the first game, and he showed some real quality there with his cross. Not unlike Perisic, to be honest. His ability to create and put a cross in. I forget who Zhershev plays for. I know we spoke about it on Thursday, but I can't remember. I think he wasn't he formerly at Real Madrid, I think, or something like that. Goldbridge Fran, if England win the World Cup, will you take the L? Oh yeah, I'll massively take the L if my country wins the World Cup. Yeah, I'll be there going, oh, I got it wrong. I won't. I'll be swimming in a bath of champagne, mate. How's Salah playing, says Cameron. He's not really in the game much at all, but Trezeguet's played best for Egypt. On the other flank. Oh, Cherchev then onto his left foot. It was a decent shot. Salah, 1-2. 1-2 again. A little bit of a chance for Salah here on the break. It must be very difficult for Salah though, because I mean, yeah, Liverpool were a bit of a one-man team with him in it, but they have got Firmino and Mane of decent quality. For Egypt, it's a bit like Messi for Argentina, isn't it? Every time he gets the ball, boom. Right, I don't know. Are we back? Are we back? I think we might be back. Good. Just at the wrong time as well, because things were starting to happen. We haven't missed a goal, which is good. I didn't lose I didn't use it due to lags. There was a problem with the Wi-Fi. It's just one of them things. So it seems to always happen on the evening ones, doesn't it? It happened with Xander yesterday. So we're all back, which is fine. Could have had a VAR moment there. Kev Beacon, we want you back for good. Yeah, it's just bloody annoying when things like that happen, isn't it? But it's the problem with live streaming. You're going to get problems every now and again. And I suppose Russia versus Egypt is better than Brazil-Germany final. Oh, spoiler alert. How does that work? How do I know it's a Brazil-Germany final? Actually, I don't think it will be anymore. I don't think it will be. So we're looking at maybe 0-0 at half-time here. Mourinho score, but we could do with a goal, couldn't we? Pretty even half, to be honest. Pretty even half. I'd say, yeah. Egypt's are going to have to go for it, though. Like I say, if this Russia get a draw, it's not the worst result in the world for them, because they'll have 4 points, and Egypt will have 4 points if they beat Saudi Arabia in their last game. But if Uruguay and Russia just play out a draw, then Egypt can only get 4 points, whereas Russia will get 5. So they've got to win. They've got to win. I think Leno to Arsenal is a good signing for them, but Petr Cech's a good, a goalkeeper's not going to make Arsenal. Arsenal aren't going to finish in the top 4, and I don't care if we've got Arsenal fans here on here or not, but blind optimism that they are. I mean, all they're doing is setting themselves up for the Arsenal fan TV meltdowns again, aren't they? Because they're not going to get in the top 4 next season. You're going to tell me that Man City, Man United, Liverpool or Spurs are going to drop out of the top 4. It's not going to happen. And actually, I think Chelsea will be better than Arsenal. So the best, if he could get 4th place next season, he deserves Manager of the Month. It will be absolutely impossible for them to do it. That team needs about 2 years of work before it even starts challenging for top 4. So they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. Jay Legend says a 5-day gap between games for a team is too much. Yeah, I always thought it was a little bit shorter than that, Jay. I couldn't believe that England were playing Monday and then their next game's not till Sunday. I thought that they were like every 4 or 5 days. I don't know whether they've spread this World Cup out a little bit longer than not. I don't know. Tyler, that made me laugh. Where the hell is Italy? Spineless Arsenal, says Prince R9. A bit like us, we won't be in the title race, says Devil's Ace. Well, yeah, I don't necessarily think United will be in a title race either, but I'm telling you now, Arsenal won't make top 4. They haven't got the money to make the impact anyway. Egypt have never won a World Cup game, says Ezzy Jr. That's interesting. And Goldbridge fan, no, of course I'm not. Hi guys, come on Egypt, let's make this group interesting, says Darren O'Brien. I think if Egypt win tonight, they'll go through the group because they'll get Saudi Arabia, they'll get 6 points, and Russia would have to beat Uruguay in the last game, and I don't think they'll do that. Al Doctor 69, they are adding more teams in the next World Cup, yes. And what do you think of Golovin in this game, Politico now? Been very, very quiet. And very, very quiet. Liverpool are in for Al Shanawi, the Egypt goalkeeper, says Joydeep. Yeah, I don't think he's. I think that's if there was any truth in that, Joydeep, that would be a prime example of mistaking of buying somebody who's just been good in the World Cup. Imagine him in a 38 Premier League season with crosses raining down on him all the time. Paul Duffy says Predators were the best football boots at curling the ball. Yeah, what happened to Predators? Why did they disappear? I remember my stepdad having a pair of Predators, and he bought them for the new season, and he went on holiday, and so I borrowed them for a couple of matches myself, and I loved them. They were brilliant, and then you don't see them anymore, and it was like everybody was wearing them with the little grooves on the top, and then no one wears them now. So it was just sort of like, did it work? What went wrong? Why did it stop? Golovin going to Juventus? Yeah, it looks like it. Opinion on Bernd Leno? He's a decent goalkeeper, but he's far from De Gea or Lloris or Courtois' level. He's nowhere near. He's he doesn't even. He's not even. Well, I mean, Manuel Neuer's German keeper, isn't he? Mercurial vapours killed Adidas Predators off, says Devil's Ace. I think Wolves will be good next season, Samuel. I think they'll be very good next season. I already said this in January that they'll finish in the top six, probably the top 8 next season. Top 6 would be very hard. They could finish above Arsenal. They could do. I think Arsenal will finish top 6, i.e. 6th. But I wouldn't be surprised if Wolves finish 7th. Ian Turlington says, Savic to Juventus done deal, Mark? Or are you covering that on the United Stand later? I wasn't aware that it was a done deal. I wasn't aware of that at all. I don't. Where is this a done deal from, though? Is it from the Mirror, or is it actually factually true? It's not true. I can't see anything about it. There is a United Stand tonight. It's at 9 o'clock, Devil's Ace. The stream is already ready on there, so just go to the United Stand after this, and it's already... We're talking about... Well, I want to talk about a lot of what other people want to talk about, but I've got a few topics myself. Bit of a wake-up call for Mourinho at this World Cup, actually, that I want to talk about. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Not a done deal for us, though. There are reports of a £61 million bid. And don't you do rambles whilst walking to work anymore, says Transporter 1970. No. They spend the games out to give players more time to recover because of the heat, which is funny as the next World Cup is in Qatar, says Richard Thatcher. Oh, sorry, Ian says it was a question, not a statement. Sorry. Bayer Leverkusen have confirmed about Leno, and Lemar to Atletico is something, though, says Jay Hart. Are there any transfer rumours around United? Yes, Darren, there are. Not going to be many deals until the World Cup is over, says Andrew Rossi. I disagree with that. There's no reason why a deal can't be done while the World Cup's on. There's loads of players who aren't even in the World Cup, so they can be done. It's just because June, first 3 weeks of June can be quite quiet because players are on holiday. They'll all start coming back to training soon, so they can happen. And let's not forget, in the Euros 2 years ago, it was around this time that the Zlatan deal was being finalised. The Pogba deal started, and he was in the Euros, so it'll happen. It's just, it has gone a little bit quiet since Fred and Dalot, but it will happen. Second half predictions, everybody, David says. Well, let me just click the eye and see. Well, right, okay, this is quite interesting. Eye in the top right-hand corner, you can cast your vote in our poll as to who's going to win. 36% so far say Russia, 47% say Egypt, and 15% say draw. So it's interesting that most people have gone, well, not massively, but nearly half have gone for an Egypt win. Exactly, Nigel Jones. Atletico Madrid flew to the French camp to wrap up the Lemar deal. Yeah, well, as I said, Egypt have got to do something in this second half. I almost feel in the last 20 minutes, it's almost like, win or bust. I would not be thinking a draw is going to be any good for you, because it won't. Pancake says Salah goal incoming. I'll tell you what, my Super Brew predictions, Scott, or my predictions so far have gone terribly wrong today. Terribly wrong today. Really haven't done very well. I think that I know I didn't predict. I predicted a Colombia win, and I think I went Senegal draw. Let's have a look. Yeah, I went Senegal and Poland draw, which it wasn't. I went Colombia to win, which it wasn't. I went 2-2 for this, which again I don't think is going to happen. So it's not going well, is it? I was doing well. I had 2 in a row, good results, but yeah, it's not going well. It's not going well. David Anagbod says Salah's career is on the line here. Why is that? Why is that? Akash, yeah, I'll be talking about that a little bit later on the United Stand, actually. Tyler hopes for Bale. Wenger to manage France after Deschamps gets sacked. I think unless France win the World Cup, Deschamps should be sacked. He was manager in the Euros final, wasn't he? And they blew that. And Douglas has said that, interestingly about Leno, he has a lot of handling errors and his distribution is not great either. I'll tell you what, the view at night outside of the BBC World Cup studio is something else, isn't it, in Russia? I don't know what it's looking out onto, but it is stunning. And I've always loved that over the years. I've always loved that at the World Cup, the views that they have outside of the studios. I don't know whether they actually are in Russia this time, though, because I know in the past they've sometimes beamed it out, but... Who's the man of the match so far, says Misha. I think Trezeguet for Egypt's done quite well. Yeah. Or Keshev for Russia. He's done all right as well. David says, as you know, I'm a Liverpool fan and all I want is the best for Salah. However, I'm not 100% sure he will come back from his injury. I think he'll be fine, David. What officially was his injury? I think it was just a damaged shoulder, wasn't it? It'll be fine. I think he'll be fine. You're right, Bryn. They are in Russia, aren't they? Because everywhere and everybody was on his photograph with the Nevilles and stuff. So it's the Kremlin, says Devil's ACC. I'm no good with the geography. Rashford will be England's standout player, says Salim. I wonder if Cech or Ospina will leave Arsenal, says Douglas. Yeah, I think so. Ospina does all right for Colombia. I'm surprised he doesn't get much game time, to be honest. Yeah, low fat, I agree with you. I don't know why people are slagging England off for winning a game in a tournament in the last minute. I guarantee if Brazil had scored that, they'd celebrate exactly the same. It's not even the opposition, or it's not even the fact that it's a group game. It's the fact that you win a game that gets you 3 points and gets your tournament off to a good start. That's what it's all about. Yeah, I do agree with you, David. I do think Salah is playing a little bit safe in his mentality. So maybe there's a psychological issue there. Maybe it's just simply because he's not quite fit, and the World Cup is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and he wants to be there. It's a bit like David Beckham in this tournament, 2002. I know he scored the penalty, but he was so far from fit. It was when he had that metatarsal injury, and he just wasn't really genuinely fit, but he wanted to play. He got them into that tournament with that performance against Greece. And I'm sure there's a few players in this tournament that we're not even aware of who are playing with injuries because they want to play in a World Cup. Lone Wolf says that Golovin is doing well. You're not having a gin now?
No.
Not having a gin now. Right, I better go to the fridge then before the second half. I thought I had a gin on order. Moody, 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 moody. Mark Young says, unpopular football opinion. I really dislike Brazil. I dislike the Brazilian team and the Brazilian style of football. Well, it's all about opinion, football is, isn't it? And I've got to be honest with you, I dislike Spain. I love Spain, the country, but the Spanish team of the last 10 years, I don't like their style of football. I don't find it very good to watch. I don't like it. I don't like the possession-based tiki-taka football. I don't like it at all. I don't want Spain to win this tournament, but if they do, and they do look the best team to me, then they deserve it. But I want them to, if they're going to win it, I want them to win it convincingly as the best team. I don't want them fluking anything or anything like that. Second half's about to kick off. A packed stadium is pretty much empty at the moment because they're probably all on the corporate gravy train. It's absolutely empty on the opposite side of the pitch. I don't know where they all are because the game is kicking off. Where have all the fans gone? And this is packed out here, so I don't know where all the fans have gone. But we are up and running with the second half. Let me just get the timer on for you. Oh, it's already on. That's why I couldn't find it to tick. In relation to Milinkovic-Savic, whether it's Juventus, Real Madrid, or he's going to stay at Lazio, I wouldn't worry about it. It's not going to get resolved while he's at the World Cup. There's going to be daily stuff spoken about. In relation to this game, big game for Egypt, says 300. Lone Wolf says they're going to win 1-0. They got to win this game. They've got to win this game. They cannot draw this game. 100% cannot draw this game. If they draw it, I guarantee you Russia and Uruguay will play a draw out in the last game and Egypt will go out. So they've got to win it. They've got to win it. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, we're doing a watch along for every single World Cup game. Portugal around at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Uruguay, Saudi Arabia at 4 o'clock. And then Spain, Iran at... Oh no! Oh no! Egypt have conceded for an own goal. And it's the most jammy goal you're ever going to see for Russia. Horrible look. Horrible look for Egypt there. And I thought he was pushed as well. Is there going to be a VAR? That is That is it's just a rubbish ball in, and the number 7 just hooks at it, and watch it back. Cross comes back in. No, I don't know. I don't think it's a foul. Ball comes back in, and he's fighting with the striker. No, it's not a foul. He's grabbing hold to. I mean, to be fair, the Russian striker's just stood up like that. He's got hold of his. He's just panicking a bit, isn't he? Haha Banter says, goal of the tournament for me, burgers for everybody. It was a fortuitous goal for Egypt. It's an own goal, and I just think that poor old number 7 for Egypt is so worried about their striker that Fahy, that he slices at the ball and it spins into the bottom corner. It's one of those. It wasn't a push. You're right, Paul, and everyone else. There's no push at all, Jack. It's a legitimate goal. He's concentrated himself more on the Russian and not dealt with the ball. And Russia, if are heading through, and Egypt are heading out. Well, it makes the game interesting as a neutral. As I said before the game, I don't really know what result I wanted. Where's all the fans gone for Russia? That other side of the pitch, which is empty, was absolutely rammed in the first half. It's really weird what's happened to this stadium. It's like half of it's emptied from half time. Is Love Island on in Russia or something? Love Island. Well, Egypt are in trouble now. It was an own goal by Fahy for Egypt, and here's Golovin, little chip, another goal, and Egypt are out. They need to keep their heads a bit here. Aiden says that every goal is reviewed by VAR. I think physically Russia have just got right into Salah's face as well, which is their right to do that. You know, if you know the best player's got a weakness, you do it. Russia is on a roll, says Robert Ingram. Well, I've got to say, actually, that Russia, as the hosts going through, is good for the tournament. But it's 11v11. It's a lucky goal. And I felt Egypt made a massive mistake against... I mean, it goes in off his knee. But I felt that Egypt made a massive mistake against Uruguay anyway. 10 minutes to go. Uruguay are going at them. They have a couple of opportunities on the break, but they've got no quality in the final third. Bring Salah on. It was only 3 days ago. What's changed in 3 days for Salah? He's either fit or he isn't fit, isn't he? Let's be honest. Here is Salah. They've just got they struggle for quality in the final third. They remind me of Nigeria a bit. Tactically quite good on the ball, but in the final third, really struggles. Jacob's a bit like me. He says, I don't really know who I want to win. It is a very difficult one. I mean, I think most games in this World Cup, you'll have a favourite, won't you? And it might change during the game, but you'll have a favourite. But in this game, it's difficult. I think it's best for the tournament that Russia go through. But I did feel sorry for Egypt against Uruguay. And I mean... There's plenty of time left. Cameron makes a good point. He says it's the Egyptians' fault, own goal or not. He shouldn't have been focused on Jabeb's shirts and tugging it, which it was. Kieran Brooks says there's no hooliganism in Russia yet. You know what, Kieran? I'd totally forgotten about the hooliganism element. And there was so many problems in the Euros 2 years ago with these Russian ultras or whatever they're called. And there was so many problems with it. And everyone was like, don't go to Russia, it's going to be a nightmare. And so far it hasn't been. But you know why I don't think there has been? Because I think the Russian authorities have basically probably said anybody who messes about, are in a lot of trouble. So they're running it very well because the world's watching. And you think about it, Russia has all these, football matches in the past, there's been problems with racial slurs and everything like that. And then you've got so many fans from so many different places coming into a country and, the world's watching. And so far, so good. And also, the longer Russia stay in it, the better for that sort of thing, I suppose. Cocainaza says that Putin is taking care of the hooligans. He will not allow to be embarrassed by some drunk Russian hooligans. Exactly. It may be able to happen in France or wherever, but it's not going to happen in his own country. Shane, the gin got cancelled, unfortunately. Yeah, bit of a gutter. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. Get involved with the channel. We're doing a World Cup watch along for every single game. We've done another 3 today, another 3 tomorrow. Every single game being covered on That's Football. So if you are watching the games and you want to get involved in the chat while you're watching the games, or if you're not watching the games and you want to have a sneaky little look at what's going on, subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and don't wait for notifications. YouTube notifications are rubbish at the moment for all channels. Just make sure you get on to YouTube. That's Football. Every game will be live. Get involved. Join the community. The friendly That's Football ultras, as George Kyle calls them. My prediction, Pancage, was 2-2, so I don't think it's going to be 2-2. James Egan says England are dark horses. Oh, I'm English, mate. I would not say... I think we should just accept it was a good result for England and see what happens next. Because it was only Tunisia and it was a last-minute winner. And I was impressed with England, but let's not get carried away with ourselves. Let's just see what happens. That other side of the pitch is filling up with fans again now. God knows where they all were for the first 5 minutes. They missed the goal. Must be all downing a few vodkas. Always a Jedi, Sam. Marcus has been watching all day. Marcus Barton, thanks for that. Egypt's on the attack here with Salah. I tell you what, I also think where Egypt struggle, and it's exactly why Uruguay scored the winner late on, they don't have a lot of height in their team, do they? They don't have a lot of physicality in their team. Here's Salah. Oh, he should have scored that. Dropped to him in the box, left-hand side. Doesn't get it out his feet quick enough. And shoots and it hits the defender and goes wide. Shara, I agree with you. I think the next World Cup when there's 48 teams, right across the box there. Egypt, no one gets the foot on it from the corner, right across the 6-yard box. Oh, they're pushing a little bit, Egypt. Still 35 minutes left in this game, so there's plenty of time for a goal to happen. Well, yeah, HXM, who KZ says Salah looks dead. He does look tired. There's a yellow card here for an Egyptian. And there's a Russian holding his face. I think Hamed just got booked for kicking his foot out in the air at thin air. Liam Kehoe says, where's everybody watching from? So let us know in the live comments where you're watching from. I know we did it a bit before. I imagine we've still got people from Jamaica, India, and Europe, and all over the world, actually. So, yeah, you're all very welcome. I don't like it, Jay Hart. Euros in 2020 has been spread all around Europe. I don't like that. I like the thought of the tournament being held in one place. I don't like it being spread out, to be honest. And Marcus Barton says that Egypt haven't scored a goal in the World Cup since the 1930s. Russia, good defending there from Hagassi again. West Brom defender, been very good in this tournament. And it was a good cross from Russia there. And he gets up to win it. Gaz is in Wicklow Island. No, he's not. He's in Northern Ireland. Liam's in Wicklow Island. Andrew Kidd's in North London. Adrian the Great's in Arizona in America. Myanmar for Yusha. Australia for Scott. Gaming Pros in India. New Zealand, but I'm Scottish, says Mr. Marcus M. Jamaica for Owayan Dilworth. Sweden for Dangularity. Peru for Chris Windle. Big game for you on Thursday, isn't it? Is it? No, it's tomorrow. It is Thursday. Peru, France. Sally's down in Cleethorpes, still by the seaside. Lovely evening. It is. I think it's going to be a nice week, actually, in the UK. I think it's going to get quite hot at the weekend, which is always great. I know the World Cup's not in the UK, but it's always nice when the weather's hot where you are as well. Russia on the attack here. This should be it. 2-0 Russia. Well-worked goal. And it's number 6 again, Chernev. And well-worked with Zhirkov down the right. Cuts it back. And Cherchev scores again his 3rd goal of the tournament. He's levelled up with Ronaldo now. And it was just very simple from Russia. That was a good goal. Zhirkov pulls it back and Cherchev is there to knock it home. And that could be Egypt going home. And they know it. Well, it's going to be very, very difficult for Russia to come back from that, I think. But sorry, not Russia, Egypt to come back from that. But a very, very well worked goal from Russia. And Cherchev's got 3 goals now. I mean, we talk about Ronaldo winning the Golden Boot, and I'm pretty sure he will do. But he's got 3 goals. He's levelled up with Ronaldo. Wasn't there a year? Was it what? Here's a little quiz question for you. What year was it? And what was the name of the player? He was a Russian. And I don't know whether he won the Golden Boot, but he got quite a lot of goals. It might have been 94. Was it Pavlienko or something like that? I'm sure there was a Russian who got a lot of goals in a World Cup. And I don't know whether he won the Golden Boot, but he got pretty close to doing it. And I think it was 94. So there's one for the boffins for you. But Cherchev's got 3 goals now in this tournament. Vandy Candy says Egypt were never good. People were just sleeping on Russia. I understand why people were sleeping on Russia, to be fair, because Saudi Arabia are poor. And this game has been quite equal. I think the difference has been that it's 3-0. Oh, Egypt have just fallen apart. Absolutely fallen apart. And it's Cherchev again. He's on 4 goals. Bloody hell. No, it's not. It's not Cherchev. He's running around celebrating. They had me going there. It was Zuba. But they've their heads are gone. Heads are gone. It wasn't him. I went for the same thing as you, football fan. Cherchev was running around like he'd scored, but it wasn't Cherchev scored. It was Zuba. 3-0. Heads are gone. I mean, this is just a long ball from their own half, and he takes it down. He gets a little bit of luck. It's poor defending from Egypt. Gabba there, the Egypt defender. If you're a centre back like that, you've got to take it. You've got to take the player. You've got to take the. It's not even taking the player really. You've got to be stronger in the tackle. You can't pussyfoot around and just poke your toe out at it. Vidic is the key there. You put your body behind the tackle and you make sure it's going nowhere near your goal. Poor defending. 3-0 to Russia. So they've got 8 goals in this tournament and they've only played just over 150 minutes. They've not conceded yet either. I mean, they've only played Egypt and Saudi Arabia. But yeah, the heads are gone for Egypt and it's 3-0. Is he going to bring Salah off? No. El Nini's coming off. And Wada's coming on. Selenko says Mr. Travis Highrise scored 5 past Cameroon. In the context of the tournament, somebody just made a really good point there because we like to look at the bigger picture. And the winners of this group, and the second place in this group, will play what is highly likely to be Portugal or Spain. So you could see Russia playing Portugal or Spain. Well, we will do. We are going to see Russia through, aren't we? And I guarantee we're going to see Portugal or Spain go through as well. Mini Mourner says, so much for Salah Egypt. Can't quite get it right like Salah Pool. Egypt need to give Jurgen a call on how to use him as a one-man band properly. I've just put a tweet out actually on the United Stand Twitter account that might boil a bit of piss. It says, he's going home, he's going home, he's going, Salah's going home. Liverpool fans will definitely bite on that. But in fairness, I don't like Mo Salah because he plays for Liverpool, but I actually respect him. He's a good footballer, and he's either not fit or the ref, their manager just got it woefully wrong because they should have used him in the last few minutes against Uruguay. When that game was open, they could have used him in that game, but he doesn't look particularly fit, does he? Let's be honest with ourselves. He doesn't look quite right, and that might just be match fitness. But Russia could score plenty of goals in this game. Where's my live comments gone? There they are. Egypt Oh, come on. Right on the edge of the box, laid off to him by Salah, and put your foot through it. Why is he trying to pass? What's he on with there? Why are you trying to pass it into the corner from the edge of the box? Put your bloody foot through it, mate. What are you doing? What are you doing there? Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Trezeguet, who I think's been quite good in this game, trying to pass it into the bottom corner. Put your foot through it. And he's just been subbed for it as well. Sobby's come on. Ramadan Sobby. Russia versus Spain would be good, says Even Costa. Well, yeah, it depends who tops the group. The thing is, Uruguay, if they play a draw out with Russia, they'll finish second in the group because obviously Russia would have 7 points they'll have 6 points after tonight, and then if they draw with Uruguay, they'll both be on 7 points, assuming Uruguay beats Saudi Arabia, and it's highly likely that Russia's goal difference would put them top. So cheers, Liam. So, can Egypt get back 3 goals in 20 minutes? I will categorically tell you no, but you never know, do you? You never know. They're going home. They're going home if they don't. And I actually think they're going home anyway because I think a draw was never good enough for them. It's actually raining in Russia tonight. I'll just notice that. Then again, it's a big country, isn't it? There's probably numerous climates. The next stream is tomorrow, UK time, 1 PM. It's Russia versus... Sorry, it's not Russia. That would be hard for them. It's Portugal versus Morocco, and I'm doing that one at 1 PM tomorrow. Portugal, Morocco, 1 PM tomorrow. And then it's Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, which I think will be a goal fest, and that's at 4 o'clock. And then Iran versus Spain, which should also be a goal fest, or a shock. Oh, God. That's 3 points for Egypt if they're playing rugby. Miles over the bar. Who scored for Russia? Cherchev got the second. Suber got the third. And it was an own goal, the first one. I think it was Fahy, wasn't it? Shane Caulfield, topic tonight on the United Stand, which follows this show on the United Stand at 9 o'clock. We're talking about Mourinho at the World Cup and his big wake-up call. That might not mean a lot to you, but obviously it does to me. I know exactly what we're going to be talking about. So there we go. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, we're doing a watch-along for every single game. We don't mind. You know, I think the World Cup's been brilliant, and I think every game's been brilliant. And we've had 3 goals tonight in a game that's been a bit up and down. But we will be doing watch-alongs for every single game. So if you are watching a lot of the games yourself and you want to interact and have a bit of chat with the live comments, or you just want to listen in, get involved. That's what the watch-along's all about. You're very, very welcome. Doesn't matter who you support, what country you're from. Tell your friends, spread the word, get involved. And it's sad. It is sad. Penalty. No. Free kick. Go to VAR. Go to VAR. It's surely a penalty. He's in the box. Go to VAR. I think he has gone VAR here. The foul starts on the edge of the box, to be fair. I think the referee's got it right. Penalty. No, he's given the penalty. Fair play. Fair play. That's where... Was it long? Was that really that long? That was quite fast. I think penalty. VAR. Fair play. I just think in the context of the game, I want Egypt to score to make it a little bit interesting. So, are Egypt about to score their first goal since the 30s? And are Russia about to concede their first goal of this tournament so far? 8 scored, none conceded. Salah steps up. Slim chance they can get back into it. 72nd minute. Mo Salah, 3-0 to Russia. Steps up with the penalty. Egypt's first goal since 1930. It is. It's 3-1. Salah scores. Egypt score. They don't deserve to be 3-0 down, to be fair. It hasn't been a 3-0 game. I know that always sounds stupid because it clearly has been a 3-0 game when they're losing 3-0. But 3-1, 15 minutes to go. I tell you what, the keeper just goes low. It goes the right way, he just goes low. 3-1. Game on. We're 3 subscribers short of 36,600, so please subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Who's joining me tomorrow at 1 o'clock for the King? Ronaldo, anyway. I will be biased about this. I love Ronaldo. Ronaldo is... We're blessed to be able to watch a player like him. Anyway, they've took Cheryshev off, so he won't be going past 3 goals, so Ronaldo will still be in charge of the Golden Boot with Cheryshev now. They're both on 3, but Cheryshev's played 2 games. Ronaldo's only played 1. I fancy Ronaldo to get a couple more tomorrow anyway. And I remember I said it at 1 o'clock today. I think the Golden Boot winner could be double figures this year. This World Cup. Stuart Collins, who supports Liverpool, says, he shut the haters down. Boom. Not getting into that debate. He's still going home. But I do agree, to be fair. I mean, Salah can't single-handedly do this, can he? He can't single-handedly raise a team. And Russia have just been physically stronger, mentally stronger as well. Baron Death makes a good point. He says, penalty cup, so many useless fake penalties. This would never happen in the Premier League, which is quite interesting. I mean, is this... What's the record for penalties in a World Cup? Because we're going to blast it in this. You're virtually getting a penalty a game, aren't you? It really is true. It's almost like a computer game, isn't it, really? It's almost like we should be saying, I hope they sort the bugs out for FIFA 19. Because there's too many penalties, it's not realistic. But if Egypt get another goal, it could be interesting. They'd want to get one in the... Well, to be fair, if Egypt get a goal in the next 10 minutes, it'll make the last 5 minutes interesting. Imagine we could be watching one of the best games of the World Cup so far. Or it could just fizzle out. Ryan Curry says the 2014 World Cup had 10 penalties altogether. This year has 10 already. Wow. Wow. Kingdom FX, I agree with you. A draw for Egypt isn't enough anyway. They'll still be going home. It just makes it a little bit interesting in that last game. But still, it'd be a hell of a comeback if they did it, though. Yeah, Sally, I hope Ronaldo gets a couple tomorrow. I'd love to see Ronaldo win the Golden Boot. Who won the Golden Boot last tournament? Did Messi win it last tournament? I know Argentina went to the final. I imagine it was a German, wasn't it? Tell you what, we're not having a bit of VAR on that. It's a bit like the Harry Kane tackle, that was. No. It's hard to not say that might not be a penalty. It was James or Muller who won it last time. I don't think many people felt that was a penalty anyway, so fair enough, we move on. Dive, says Tejas. Juba's coming off for the last few minutes, or 12 minutes. Francesco says Egypt are going to score in the 84th minute. Let's see if you're right. Bloody hell, have we just had something go wrong with the stream? We've just... Oh no, we're alright. I thought we'd lost like 300 viewers in the space of a second there. That would have been a concern. But it's not been our best watch stream tonight. I don't know why that is. Maybe people just weren't turned on by Egypt versus Russia. They're not hardcore World Cup watchers like some of the That's Football Ultras. But we've had 4 goals. We've had 4 goals. And 2 of the Russian goals were good. Obviously the Egypt. Here we go. This could be 4. Why didn't he hit it straight away? That's Golovin, isn't it? Why did he not hit it straight away? He's got the talent to do that. He should have hit that straight away. Remember, if you're a United fan, we're live at 9 o'clock on the United Stand, which is in 23 minutes. So get yourself over there after this. And if you've never heard of the United Stand and you're interested in me having a pop at Mourinho, which I'm going to be doing at 9 o'clock, join me at in 23 minutes on the United Stand. But it's starting to look like poor old Egypt are running a little bit out of steam here. Me. Just wanted to have a quick look at something here that I wasn't actually aware of. So let me have a quick look. France. Group. What group is it? Group F for Germany. Group F for Germany in Sweden. Yep. So Bernd Leno's such a good goalkeeper, he's not even part of the German squad. Manuel Neuer, Ter Stegen of Barcelona, and Kevin Trapp of PSG. I think Leno's probably the 6th choice goalkeeper, which is quite apt really, because that's where they're going to finish next year. But let's be honest with you. I mean, Arsenal are going to be ecstatic with Leno, aren't they? But I know who he is because I follow football, but he's not. He's not. Leverkusen, is that where they bought him from? That's who he plays for, isn't it? Is it it's Leverkusen or Schalke he plays for? I think it's Leverkusen. But at the end of the day, I mean, that's an Arsenal signing now. That's where Arsenal are, isn't it? I mean, I'm not picking on Arsenal. I'm just saying, Arsenal. I know some Arsenal fans, and they get behind cameras and they'll be like, "Oh, what a great signing it is! We're getting our business done early." That's not a top quality goalkeeper. That's not a goalkeeper that wins you titles. He can't even. 3 goalkeepers Germany have taken to the World Cup, and he's not even the 3rd choice goalkeeper for Germany. And yeah, Germany are one of the better nations in the world, but if he's such a good goalkeeper, he should be at least in the top 3 for that country, I think. HXM, I did see about the extentation shooting. I don't know, it's not my genre of football, but it does sound bad, really, especially when you look at the people who are sort of like saying, gone too soon and that, 20 years of age and shot in a robbery. It just makes you think, was it a robbery? I don't know. I always think that one of the best up and coming artists in that genre gets shot dead in an armed robbery. So it could have been anybody, or do you think it actually was a bit of a conspiracy? I don't know. Ryan, see, I agree with you. I mean, we're watching this game here, but Egypt need to score quickly, otherwise they're going home. I agree with you, Ryan. I've said this before. Look, people think I'm triggering Arsenal fans or winding up Liverpool fans. It's well known I'm a Manchester United fan, but on this channel, I'm pretty much not really going to be biased towards United, and I'm actually one of the biggest critics of United when they get things wrong. But just because that's football and it's a channel for everybody, I'm not going to not be honest. And I've spoken to Arsenal fans who say exactly the same. They said if Emery can get them 4th place, he deserves Manager of the Year. Because it's all right, Arsenal thinking we're going to get top 4, but this is from Arsenal fans. But how is that squad going to infiltrate the top 4 of the Premier League when you've got Man City, Man United, Spurs and Liverpool who are miles ahead, and Chelsea are about to get a new manager and spend a load of money? If Arsenal get 6th next season, that's probably about it. I think Uruguay will give Saudi Arabia a hammering tomorrow, and I think they need to, because goal difference is massively in Russia's favour. And if you're Uruguay, do you want to play Spain or do you want to play Portugal? And I would say you probably want to avoid Spain. Matthew McFadden says, I'd give Saudi Arabia a hammering. Anthony Muller says Egypt are basically already out of the World Cup. Oh, 100%, mate. They are finished. They are finito, out, gone, return to sender. They are out. Russia have got 6 points. Uruguay will have 6 points tomorrow. Saudi Arabia and Egypt will have no points, and just Egypt against Saudi Arabia will basically be for who's finishing last. And it's disappointing for Egypt. I thought they would have. I thought this group was going to be quite competitive, but it isn't. It's actually going to be quite straightforward. Russia on the attack there, but good tackle. Egypt just switched off at 1-0 as well. I think at 1-0 they had a chance, and then for the next 2 goals they just really switched off. Defensively they were just a bit all over the place for that 5 minutes, and Russia just took the game away. Mark Fresh, do you think Russia have got a chance against Spain or Portugal in the next round? Well, what do you lot think? I've watched both games now, and anybody who's been part of this stream will know that will have watched them as well. If you've been watching the watchalongs, I'm sure a lot of you have seen them twice. I don't rate Saudi Arabia, I've got to be honest. I don't think Saudi Arabia are a very good team. But in the relation to Egypt are a little bit better, and Russia have still beaten them. So I think we've learned a little bit more about Russia today. I don't think they can beat a good team. But they have got the home support behind them, which is always, it's the cliche of the 12th man, isn't it? Yeah, I saw that mark, Hilnick, on the edge of the box where the Egyptian got spun round by the Russian. Referee's not been great. We're going to get some dodgy refs, aren't we? I don't think this referee's been great. I mean, to be fair, the penalty, I think the foul did start outside the box. But again, I'm not going to put my hands up. I don't know the rules. I don't know the rules as to whether it's when the foul starts or whether it ends. I don't know. But another one down, another game done. I don't think it's been the best game of the day. I think I preferred Colombia-Japan was my favourite. I did enjoy Senegal winning because I want Senegal to do well. But my favourite game has been Colombia-Japan. Even though I want Japan to do well, that was my pick of the day. Let us know in the comments which has been your favourite game. And we've had the most goals in this game. But I think Russia so far in both games, they've just not really been... They've got in front and they've took that lead to an unattainable level. They've not been able to be caught. And it'll be interesting to see how they do against Uruguay in a game where I presume Uruguay will want to win that because it's all about avoiding Spain. I'd rather play Portugal than Spain. remember, you don't have to be a United fan, but remember, we are live in 12 minutes on the United Stand. United Stand, instead of live at 8 o'clock throughout the World Cup, we're pushing back an hour to 9 o'clock so everyone can watch the games. Always thinking of you and also thinking of myself so I can watch it. But we are live in 12 minutes talking about a little bit about the World Cup, mainly about Mourinho, and got some good topics planned as well in relation to transfers. So join us for that, interactive as ever. And thanks everybody who's tuned in for this stream. Enjoyed it, as ever. And I'm back at 1 o'clock on this channel tomorrow for Portugal versus Morocco, which Morocco were very disappointing losing to Iran. I thought that Morocco might actually, obviously Portugal and Spain are big favourites in that group. But I thought Morocco, if they beat Iran, it could open up the group a little bit. I mean, Iran are topping that group at the moment. Let's not forget, Portugal and Spain did draw, so... But my favourite game of the day. Hannibal says United Stand forever. Well, hopefully a lot of you are going to go straight over to the United Stand after here. Probably won't keep you all that long, but a few things to talk about. Ian Turlington says the United Stand's a great channel, even if you're not a full-on Manchester United fan. You know what? Blowing our own trumpet, I think we are. Because I am going to blow the own trumpet. I think we are because... I always say when United lose a game and you get all the Liverpool fans and Arsenal fans jumping on Twitter trying to mock you, there's no point with the United Stand because actually, if United play badly and lose, we're all bloody critical anyway. So there is no need to sort of try and wind us up because we'll say it how it is. If we play well, we'll say it, and if players aren't playing well, we'll say it, and that's what So it is. I suppose it is quite interesting, even if you don't support the club. He's going home. No, I'm not going to sing it, but Salah's going home. I think the ref's blown, hasn't he? He has blown because everybody's on the pitch, which means that Russia are through to the next stage with 6 points. They cannot be caught because unless Saudi Arabia do something ridiculous against Uruguay tomorrow, Egypt will be going home. One more game to play against Saudi Arabia. And I just think physicality and mentality put Russia through in that game. At times it was quite an equal game. A bit of a lucky own goal from Egypt to put Russia ahead, but then they just went through the gears and took the game away from Egypt. Made it 3-0, penalty for Salah, but they never looked like they were coming back after that. I mean, you get the penalty, bit fortuitous maybe, but where's the other gear to go for it in the last 20 minutes? It just never materialised. Russia comfortable in that game once they got the goal. Salah scored, Ahmed, for Egypt, so yeah, very good. Back tomorrow at 1 o'clock with Portugal, UK time, against Morocco. 3 more games tomorrow. Thanks everybody who's joining. I know the numbers weren't as good as they have been, but for those who were here, you are the That's Football World Cup ultras. You are the loyal lot, and glad to spend it with you. Now, if you fancy a bit of United chat, I'm going on to the United Stand. We'll be live in about 5-8 minutes time. I'll see you on there. You can find the United Stand if you're new just by typing the United Stand into YouTube. Go to our page and the live stream is waiting for you there with the live comments. And I'll see you all over there in about 8 minutes for a bit of United chat. Thanks everyone for watching today. I'll see you tomorrow on here at 1 o'clock.